It's 26th of March 2020, and a few months ago, maybe before 2020, no one could imagine ourselves in the situation that many of us are in at the moment, right? Some of us has been self-quarantined, some of us has been isolated, some of us has been in a shelter in place, some of us live with the lifestyle that has totally changed from a few months ago. Do you still have inner peace with you? That's the questions I would like to ask you today. If yes, congratulations, you are among very few people at the moment who still able to maintain inner peace. But if you do not have any inner peace or you are trying to find one, stay with me. Today I'm going to share some tips in order to maintain our own inner peace and stay alive, stay lively, even though we have problems to deal with. We are still able to enjoy our life. This is Monk John. This is my stories in the topic, how to find inner peace amid the coronavirus pandemic. I hate to say this name. I know that probably you don't want to listen to the name of the virus because we've been listening to all the news and also people talking about the situation at the moment. We listen to the numbers, we listen to the cases. But today, we're going to listen to something different. We're going to listen to the inner peace, okay? Which is not very easy to find at the moment, right? Are you able to meditate daily? Are you able to continue your meditation routine even though you are in your house, in your room, and not in a retreat place? Share with me your situations, okay? I'm trying to, at the moment, to see about maybe if anyone is online at the moment, you can share with me your name, what the country you're from, okay? So we're gonna wait a little bit for more people to arrive, and if you can hear my voice properly, if this is audible, please, maybe you can say +1, okay? And if you are able to, you can ask questions as well, and I'm willing to answer any questions that you have about how to meditate during this moment, and also how to prepare ourselves physically, mentally. Well, I'm going to take about the mental part because that's my expertise, okay? So please share with us your name, where you're from, your country, and maybe a little bit about the situation in your country so that I know your pace, I know maybe what you want, okay? So we're gonna wait a little bit for more people. When they arrived, then we can continue with the topic today, how to find inner peace amid the coronavirus pandemic. Myself, let's talk about me, okay? Few months ago, maybe before 2020 or in January, we used to talk about how I would travel to teach meditation in different countries. I planned to fly yesterday to Japan, for example. I planned to fly in May to Central America. But now these plans seem to be, well, canceled because at the moment, the situations of the whole world is yet to reach its peak, right? We only learned that China, for example, which is the origin of, the whole thing started there. They have less cases, but they still have patients. Or maybe they're waiting to declare the win, to declare the victory against the virus. But many other countries, the number of cases is still rising. So at the moment, the plan until the summer, like June, July, August, people are thinking about the possibility of cancellation already. We heard about Olympic, right? That the Olympic 2020 hosted in Japan is going to be postponed for 1 year. We heard about football or sport competitions that at the moment is not possible to stay together with a lot of people. We heard about concerts or performances that are being postponed and canceled indefinitely. So not only few careers, occupations, or groups of people that are being affected at the moment. Majority of us around the world, we need to change the way we work, we need to change the way we live our life. Because of these changes, we cannot still find or maintain our own inner peace. So where does inner peace come from? It's come from within, right? But at the moment, when we have to follow up the news and we look at the internet and try to see if the situation is getting better next day or next week, our mind has been exposed to the amount of information. And this amount of information usually comes with feelings of reporters, feeling of people associated, embedded in information. So when we are exposed to that information, our mind can be saddened and maybe we cannot maintain the same amount of inner peace anymore. So how to actually find the inner peace? Let's see the possibility. Okay, we have few people here already. Hello all of you. We have Manuela from Romania watching. We have Tanya from Honduras, Georgie. I'm not sure where you're from. I heard that you were in the US, but maybe you're in Georgia already. Bruno from Benin, and also maybe more participants. Akalanka. I hope I pronounced your name properly. From Sri Lanka, right? All right, so let's begin with what we will cover today, okay? We begin with this picture. This is probably what everyone is facing at the moment, right? That you have to face, like information on your maybe phone. You listen to the news that can be true, can be fake, and also the other ways. Maybe you also have to deal with the sources of information. You try to follow up the news and maybe the fear from coronavirus and also the news, they come at the same time. And that's how the problem happens, because the mind is gonna be full of information that can be true, can be fake, can be scary. So one thing that people have maybe ask the questions: am I infected already? Have you ever asked yourself this question before? I think many of us probably had that in the mind, right? But this question is something that you cannot answer on your own. You have to go to hospitals, but hospitals will not test you if you do not have severe condition. They need to have space for patients, for sick people, for people who are in the intensive care unit or ICU, but not for you, not for us. If you go to hospitals, like in my country, in Thailand, I'm not sure about your countries, okay? If I would go to a hospital in Thailand and say to them, hey, I want to check myself if I'm already infected with the coronavirus, they will say, no, we don't have space and quota for you. We have space for people who are in severe conditions. So altogether, with the amount of thoughts that we have in the mind, and these questions that we cannot get out of ourselves, there is no guarantee at all that a healthy person will not have viruses in the body, right? So one thing, if we cannot answer ourselves these questions, let's be optimist. Let's be, let's come up with a belief that we are still healthy and we do not have the coronavirus at the moment. Just let's stick with that. Otherwise, our mind is gonna be full, and there will be no space for us to feel peace, to feel happiness. So this is the key. If we do not have space in the mind, we will not be able to enjoy our life the way we used to. We will not be able to appreciate our present moment, our day, our life, and our opportunity to be alive for another day. That requires some space in the mind, okay? And we do not have the space when the mind is full of questions. Am I infected already? There's a bunch of other questions as well, like my neighbors, what about my family? And we do not yet talk about the effects or consequences like our job, our work, our plan, and so on, okay? So one thing we need to make sure, we need to reserve some space, because otherwise when the mind is full of things to think about, to worry about, the mind is not going to be different than a glass of water. A glass of water, when it is contaminated by like ink or chocolate or milk or tea or maybe coffee, the water will lose quality. And when the water loses quality, we don't have space, we don't have quality to understand what is going on with our life anymore, right? Okay, can you follow up? Are we on the same pace? You can also share with me as well, all right? So we have as well Stanislas, he's from Burkina Faso, and also Son Sin, a Cambodian monk, and Bernadette Badet from the Philippines. She said that the atmosphere and in the social media has been stressing her out, and she doesn't want to be too stressed about it. Bruno said that the information that you can't even sneeze anymore. When you wanted to cough, maybe before you could just cough, but these days you would think twice, hey, if I'm cough at the moment, what will be the reaction of how people will look at me, right? And then we have as well the biggest challenge, according to Bruno, is the inner negative voice that keeps talking to you all the time, how to deal with that. Okay, we're going to talk about that, and that's the reasons why I'm with you today. Okay, if you have never meditated before, I'm going to guide you a short meditation. I'm just going to talk also about some tips how to meditate. If you have meditated already, you are perhaps regular meditators, this life is going to show as well some benefits to you, because I'm going to share the reason why our meditation is not as good as before, and what is the tip, or is there any like some light in the dark tunnel that we can use to improve our own meditation? Yes, the answer is yes. We can use this opportunity to change and to turn the situation around, okay? So, as I mentioned to you that our mind is like a glass of water. When the mind is full of contamination, the mind is going to lose quality, which is like a glass of water with chocolate or contamination. The water loses quality, and eventually our mind is going to be full of, you can call it clouded mind. When the mind is full of impurity, the mind becomes clouded and you can't see the content anymore. What are in the mind? You can't understand your pace, you can't understand what you have to do, or maybe the existence of being in the world. So that's very crisis situation, okay? So do not leave your mind in such condition without cleaning it properly. Again, the mind has a lot of thoughts already. We think thousands of times, thousands of stories. Maybe in few hours or in a day, there's so many thoughts appearing in the mind. But again, the thoughts that we cannot find the answers, especially the questions, am I infected with the virus already? That's gonna be taking too much space. And when the thought is in the mind, we also feel afraid, we also have the fear, okay? So one thing we can do is to clean the mind, because the mind has always, our day, we live a busy day, we live a busy life, we have a lot of things to do. This is even in our daily routine before the coronavirus, right? We already needed to clean the mind. Even not in this situation, even in 2019, when we have a lot of work, we feel stressed already, we need to make sure that our mind can find some peace. The peace amidst the violence, the stillness amid the movement is the eye of tornado that we need to keep our mind in, right? Busy day, busy life. Is there a moment of peace in our day that we can rest, that the mind can call it home? This is what we have to do. We have to bring the mind home. And we probably have many times even before the coronavirus, that we say to ourselves, that's it, I cannot take it anymore. The day is so busy. I had so many things to worry about. I just want to stay still. I just want to do nothing. I just want to make it a stop. That's stopping the mind. We have encountered it countless of times already. You can call it a retreat. You can call it a reset button, right? We need to reset. We need to make sure that we are like a computer that has no malicious software, has no virus in the computer. If we make sure that we do not have the virus in the computer is going to work properly. We make sure that we do not have the virus in the mind, which we do not know, right? Well, I heard that if you lose the ability to smell, if you cannot perceive the same amount of odor, or if you lose the sense of taste, you cannot enjoy the same flavor. That's perhaps how you developed or how you already get some amount of viruses. Because this virus, the coronavirus, seems to have the stealth mode. It can hide itself from the immunity systems of the body until it has enough amount of viruses. Then they show up at the same time, and that's how it shows symptoms. But before that moment, when we lose the amount of ability to smell, ability to enjoy the taste, that's how we have perhaps some certain amount of viruses in the body. If you do not lose that sense of perceiving odor or taste, then maybe you can tell yourself that you are still free from the virus and you're going to be fine, okay? So just tell yourself that you're still fine. This is what I've been telling myself many days. Otherwise, the same questions is going to appear. Am I infected already, right? So just click the reset button, and that's how we return our mind to the state of standstill, peaceful, and focused. Do you still have your mind in these three conditions? The mind that is standstill. Standstill means that your mind doesn't think too much. Your mind doesn't have so many thoughts or worries inside. Your mind can stay still with some thoughts or maybe just one thought. Do you still feel peaceful? Are you able to enjoy maybe your day without thinking about the coronavirus situation? That's the definition of peacefulness. Are you able to maybe to stay with that few hours a day, or maybe at least half an hour a day? That is what we call inner peace. That is what we want to achieve. Are you able to stay focused with just one thought? At the moment, we still cannot call ourselves acquit from all responsibilities. We still have to work from home. We still probably need to deliver some assignments or some projects, right? The works are going on, but are we able to focus on just one thought? Or is your mind full of worries, a lot of thoughts, especially you switch yourself to Facebook, to Twitter, just to receive more news about the coronavirus situation? Let me share with you. Maybe you can just receive those news once a day, and the rest of your day just live your life, especially if you are in the shelter in place, or if you are in your self-isolation. There's nothing much you can do, right? So do not let yourself be exposed to too much information that will scare yourself. Otherwise, you're going to lose the ability to maintain your inner peace, okay? However, you need to as well reset yourself. And this is how we do the meditation. We keep our mind focused on only one thought at a time, okay? So that our mind isn't focused or isn't distracted by other thoughts. If you are unable to stay with one thought in an extended period of time, let's say maybe 5 minutes, and your mind is being distracted, then you're likely to spend your day thinking about the same, worry, like, okay, the COVID-19, anything is going to be better, tomorrow is going to be the same, what about my family, what about my country, what about the world? So you have to test, you have to verify if you are able to maintain your mind in the stillness with only one thought at a time, maybe for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We do not talk about half an hour or 1 hour. Why? Because even in this probably normal situation when there was no coronavirus, we can't meditate and keep the mind with just one thought for long. But there is a way to improve. And this improvement comes with a proper understanding of meditation, okay? So let me come back again to the screen. If you just arrived, today we talk about how to find inner peace amid the coronavirus pandemic. And we have people from all over the world. We have like from Sri Lanka, from Benin, from the Philippines, from Costa Rica, from United Kingdom, Cambodia or Cambodia, and Bulgaria as well. If you have any questions, just type the questions. Maybe I'm not able to look at all of them at the moment, but today I will spare some time to go through some of the questions, okay? Right. So what do we do? How to improve? Actually, the secret of meditation is to be able to keep the balance between 50% relaxation, 50% concentration. It's not about concentration alone. Even though in the previous slide, the previous picture, I said to you that you should stay with one thought for an extended period of time. But the way we stay with just one thought, we have to stay with it relaxingly. Okay, so do not force yourself. You meditate like, I have to stop thinking, I have to stop thinking, I have to stop thinking. Within few seconds, the thought about the coronavirus will come back to your mind because your mind struggles. And because the struggling nature of the mind will bring some negativity with it as well. Our mind is very strange because it is more sensitive to negativity more than positivity. If you were about to touch something and that something hurts your hand, you probably will keep your hands off, right? Because now your hand is in pain. And you probably will learn that you should not touch that hot thing directly again. That's because the body has learned that this is dangerous to it. But the mind doesn't work the same way. If you think about something frightening, something fearful, so instead of being able to learn that this thought, we should not think about it anymore, we tend to think about the thought again and again and again. We never learned. That's because our mind is more sensitive to negativity more than positivity. As a result, if you force your mind to think only about one thought, your mind will refuse and it will bring in negative thoughts or your worries again and again and again. We have to change this. We have to make sure that the way we meditate, we do it in a relaxing way. And normally I will define a Thai word to use with this relaxation. We call it sabai, S-A-B-A-I, sabai. So we try to meditate, we try to keep our thought in a sabai way. It's like we enjoy doing something, we enjoy painting. We can paint with a smile on our face. Maybe you enjoy playing music. When you play music, you have already a very smiling face, and also your mood can be seen on your face, right? Maybe you enjoy reading a book, you enjoy writing a letter, you already have a lot of smile on your face. That is the smile we talk about. Well, maybe you will argue with me that during the moment with the coronavirus situation, I cannot feel sabai. I cannot feel relaxed at all. I got freaked out several times a day. What do we do? That's unexpectedly normal. That's so normal because even though you are not in the coronavirus situation, when you meditate, your mind is going to fall into some negative thoughts and problems. Maybe you think about your boss, you think about your family, you think about your kids, you think about your pets, you think about your life, so on and so forth. Well, that's how we're going to understand one thing, that the mind, it swings between relaxation and concentration. Like the picture I'm showing to you, it won't stay in that 50% balance the whole time. Maybe at some moment, you're gonna feel to relax and you're going to fall asleep like a baby, right? Have you ever fallen asleep when you meditate? Of course, maybe many times. Have you ever feel like tension, like you feel stress, you feel some pain when you meditate? That is when you have too much concentration and you do not feel relaxed enough. So our mind is going down and up, down and up, down and up like this the whole time. As a result, we require some practice. So how can we find this practice? You have to do it daily, of course. And once in a while, you probably need to find yourself time for a retreat, right? Because when you do not meditate many days in a row, maybe you do it once a week or once a month, anyone here doing it once a year, come on. Okay, I hope that after this presentation, you're gonna change your mind and start doing it daily. As I mentioned earlier, that because our days is full of stuff and we have to deal with a lot of things. I show that pictures again. We have a life like tornado, full of chaotic stuff that we have to deal with, right? And because our mind is gonna keep those thoughts with it, especially when we cannot find solutions. We can't let go of all those thoughts from the mind yet. The mind is gonna be full of thoughts. Our mind is gonna be something like this. Okay, not to mention that big questions. Am I infected already? I hope you're not gonna ask yourself. I already shared with you some tips, right? If you do not lose the sense of smelling, if you're still able to enjoy the taste of the food in the same way, well, maybe because you feel a little bit depressed at the moment, the sense of food is not going to be completely the same, but you don't lose it completely, because when people already have some amount of viruses, they lose the ability to enjoy the flavor and to smell. If you don't have that, well, you're still fine. And just let go of the big questions, right? All right, then the retreat. Have you been in a retreat lately? Anyone? Okay, we have the situation. We got some questions from Manuela. She asks, why is the mind more sensitive to negativity? That depends on the quality of your mind. If your mind is clear, your mind is gonna be more sensitive to positivity. It's like everything is so beautiful. Have you ever had such day before when you can enjoy even the toothbrush? You can enjoy how you brush your teeth. You can enjoy how you wear your clothes. You can enjoy, the food, talking to people. Everyone is so smiling. It's a beautiful day, right? You probably had such day before. But when the mind is clouded, the mind will be more sensitive to negativity more than positivity. At the moment, maybe you can already guess if your mind is clear or clouded, right? If I define how we evaluate positivity and negativity, you probably have an answer, perhaps. Okay, and we have Son, and he asks whether we can do meditation for the beginners. Of course, we're gonna actually do that today. We have Gustavo Sanz, he's from Costa Rica, and Bears from Albania. Okay, if you have any questions, just put them there, and I'm gonna come back to answering your questions later on, okay? So at the moment, let me continue with this presentation. I actually use pictures of one of the students here. I'm not sure if you know who she is or if she is in the life herself. She's Anna from Ukraine, but at the moment she lives in the Netherlands. Okay, if you are here, Anna, hello. I borrow your picture and use here. Okay, so because our mind doesn't stay still at the balance, at the 50% relaxation and 50% concentration the whole time, we need some practice. That's why we need to give ourselves a retreat once in a while so that we can narrow the gap, okay? And we can make it narrower, it stays more. However, at the moment, when you do not have a retreat with you, my tips is do not try to force your mind to stay at the middle line or the middle way, but try to come back often to it, as often as you can. So if it goes too much below the curve or below the middle way, reset and restart, okay? Or if it goes too much higher than the middle way, you also reset and restart as well, okay? There is no need to force your mind to come back. Because when you force your mind to come back, you already lose the sabai. There's no way your mind feels sabai with being forced, right? Why do we need a retreat? We need a retreat because first, we will be able to stay away from work and responsibility. Second, we are able to stay away from people, right? Some of us, when we live in our house, they say that people who live, in try to meditate in their environment, it's going to be very difficult because, maybe the family and also the neighbors or even people in the same house, your classmates, your roommates, are going to come to you and ask the question, hey, could you please help me with these errands? Hey, could you please fix this for me, right? And you do not even have time for yourself. They said that we should put our tasks into 4 categories, right? Urgent and important, not urgent, but important, and not important. Not, okay, let me start again. Urgent and important. Not urgent, but important. Urgent, but not important. Not important and not urgent, right? Usually we should focus on what? Urgent and important. But because we meet so many people in our days, so there are something not so important but urgent that they ask us to do and we can't say no. And that's why being in retreat, you can say no. You don't have to say no. There's no one around you. No one is going to ask you, please do this for me. Please do this errands for the family or something like that, right? So these are the benefits of going on a retreat. And the last is we are able to stay away from distractions. Usually at the retreat, in some retreats, in my retreat, the retreat that I organize for people, please give me your phones. Please. Why? Because if you look at the phones, now you know the amount of thoughts that you have from looking at the phones, especially if you are on a retreat in the moment, and you look at the news, you see the amount of people who got infected with the coronavirus, you're going to feel afraid. You can't maintain the same amount of stillness, right? So because the retreat gives us staying away from people, we are able to stay away from our work and responsibilities as well. We are able to stay from distractions. That's how you are able to maintain the consistency of your meditation and improve, make some progress, right? Are you missing those retreats already? Are you missing those days that you stay with me? Are you missing our time together in Thailand? Because some of the participants, they already joined one of the retreats that I organized, right? Those days, even though at the moment maybe you try to ask the mentors, you try to ask the organizer, please let me use my phone, please let me use the internet. But now probably you understand the reason why we didn't allow you to use the internet or to use the phone, right? Because that's gonna drop some ink into the water, and that's gonna cloud the mind unnecessarily. However, even though you are not in Thailand, you are not in a retreat site, you are not in a paradise, you are in your own lockup, you are in your own isolation, right? The conditions of forming your own retreat is still possible. You look at this picture again. Okay, away from people, away from work and responsibility, away from distractions. Just 3 conditions, right? Away from people. If you lock up yourself in a room, you don't meet, you don't see anyone at all. Can't you call that a retreat already? You know, we monks have been doing this several times a year. We have to lock ourselves secluded and reflect on our own precepts, our own discipline. But we don't call self-isolation. We call it a retreat. We call it the time for ourselves. We do not call it, okay, this is the time for country. This is the time for fighting for humanity. Stay at home, please. Campaign. Leave the job to the doctors, and your job is to stay at home. You've seen that before, right? But if you think about it this way, you're doing it for other people. You don't enjoy doing it because the habits are going to make you feel like this is not what you wanted to do. But if you think that you are doing this for yourself, you are going to be willingly stay at home because now you can find the benefits. You don't actually have to meet a lot of people to do your own meditation, right? And some companies already make, well, not like a layoff, but maybe ask their employees to stop working or maybe to not to deliver because everything is going to be put on hold. Some of the products are supposed to be released, they cannot release in the same time schedule. As a result, maybe the amount of responsibilities you have at the moment is less, right? How it can be managed? Because you have to stay at home. You actually have to meet a lot of people. Maybe you can share with me, is the amount of meetings you're having at the moment is less? Is the amount of talking to people, or even the amount of work that you are having at the moment, is it more or less? Please share with me, okay? I'm looking at the comment. Right. Katerina, she said that she usually focuses on non-urgent and important. Well, you know, the prioritization, right? You probably are aware that we should probably give ourselves to focus on urgent and important. But if we focus more on non-urgent and important, that could be postponed and we can prioritize it in a different way. And Johan, yeah, Johan was with me in GPM 7. I don't remember when GPM 7 was. A few years ago, right? Is that in 2012, I guess? 2012 or February 2012? If that's correct, you can share with me, okay? All right. All right. At the moment, you can form your retreat, right? Think about it, that this is time for yourself. The willingness is going to be the first step to be successful in finding your own inner peace. If you do not have this willingness, if you don't feel like you are doing this for you, even though you try to meditate, it's not going to be as good as when you were in a meditation retreat. Even though you try to, okay, I have to meditate online, okay, I have to do something with myself. You watch an online meditation guide, people guide you to meditation. It's not going to be the same, right? And as well, the situation is not going to be better anytime soon. We do not know how long this is going to end. Maybe it's going to end in 2 months. In your country, it's going to end in 3 months. But what I'm going to share with you, today the world is so too connected. Even though some countries like China or Japan or Korea that's already about to declare victory against the virus, but they still need to close their border. So it means that the commerce in China, the commerce in South Korea, in Taiwan is still not going to be the same, right? So we will see this situation going on for a while until maybe the whole world is going to declare this victory at the same time. It's not going to be one country, one victory, and we can declare that victory separately. It's going to be all at once. Otherwise, we still need to help each other and to reduce the amount of infection rate, right? And stay with the flatten the curve, staying at home longer. If you don't have any other choices. Stay with the choice that this is the time you can do something good with yourself, okay? We can't do that because we cannot let go, right? We can't let go because of what? Because the mind is attached to people, to animals, to things, to situations, to our achievements, to our progress, to our work. We have that attachment. So when we meditate, when I guide you meditation, which I'm about to do so, I'm going to ask you to slowly detach yourself. So even when you are in normal situation, when there is no coronavirus to bother your mind at all, if you cannot detach yourself from all the stuff, you will not be able to have good meditation, right? So at the moment, the question is it harder to detach yourself? Is it harder to let go? Probably harder, because that big questions, again, I'm going to share that big questions. The big question is, am I infected already, right? Maybe there's some other questions like, when is this going to end? What's going to happen with these people, that people, So these things, if you think about our life, we always face two kinds of questions or problems. First, the problems that can be fixed. Second, the problems that cannot be fixed, cannot be solved, right? The problems that cannot be fixed, just let them go away from the mind. If you can't answer those questions yourself, am I infected already? Don't ask yourself such questions. Don't let it come to the mind, or maybe fill your mind with some other stuff, right? Let it go. Don't ask yourself, when is this going to end? This is not something that you can do. Probably the best thing you can do, and probably you are doing that already, is to stay at home. So be proud of yourself. You are in the biggest Avenger team, Avenger, that's cool, right? You are in the biggest Avenger team ever formed on Earth to end these missions of saving humanity from the viruses. So cool. So if you are doing that already, let it go. If you are in your own place, this is the time for you, the time that the boss has never given you such vacation, right? You can stay at home, you can watch your plants, you can, like play with your dogs, your cats. Just don't let them to interfere when you work. I heard that if you have cats at home, they're gonna actually come to you several times asking for food. Maybe it's gonna be more difficult working, right? I'm not sure if that's gonna be the same case with the dog. Well, maybe you can share. If you have some other animals like iguanas, it's gonna be the same. Let that go. The development of meditation experiences. Okay, let's look at this picture. It must begin with this enchantment, or your mind has to be disenchanted. By what? By things, by either positive things or negative things to go inside. If you are still, enjoying the work, okay, I'm doing video production for my next movie, for my vlog, and you meditate right away, your mind gonna think about what? Your movies. Your mind's gonna think about your work. You can't disconnect and stay with the middle way, right? Or if you have some problems, that's the negative side. Well, okay, no, not all the problems are negative, I know, but maybe negative problems. You can't stop yourself from engaging with the thoughts. That's why you can't let go. So the mind that is the best to let go is the mind that is able to be disenchanted. Okay, do you understand this word? Like to pay no interest on nothing at all. It's like when you close your eyes, I have no more interest in anything in the world. That's the best mind. If you have such mind, it means that you close your eyes, you go to the center already. You had that before, right? Some of you in the retreat, in the GPM training, the peace architect training, you had that before, right? It's the mind that shows no interest in anything in the world because maybe during the retreat, you didn't have such interest, or you could not have such interest. So the mind stay more interested in the inner journey. But at the moment, how could we have such mind of not interested at all? That's when you have to focus on these three questions. First, what we want to do. Second, what we can do. And third, what we must do. The first question, what you want to do at the moment, leave it out, right? Because many of us are in the quarantine. We will not given the same amount of freedom. We don't have such freedom to go anywhere, to do anything we want. So don't think about what you have to do, or what you want to do, sorry. Don't think about what you want to do. Think more on what you can do and what you have to do. Okay? What you can do at the moment is meditation. What you have to do at the moment is stay at home, right? So stay at home and do meditation. That's for yourself. So if you think about it already, you already are developing this enchantment in stuff. Can you do this next week? No. Then do not pay much attention to it. Is that going to be the same next month? You don't know, right? So don't be interested in it as well. And be interested in what you can do and what you have to do, right? So that's how this enchantment is being formed, especially if you started to feel a little bit bored about life. Well, is that good or not? Well, it could be good or bad, right? Feeling a little bit bored of life, can it be good? For me, it can. Good in the way that you are able to withdraw. It doesn't mean that after the meditation, you're gonna actually feel forever bored about your life. But maybe before the meditation, not to be so enthusiastic about life at the moment, and withdraw yourself and stay with um, just very be close by surroundings and come back to these questions: what you can do and what you have to do, right? Okay. Are you in? There's questions from Katerina. Katie, are you enjoying your retreat at the temple? You finally don't have to travel. Did I make a wish? I didn't make a wish, okay? I didn't make any wish at all, but I'm pretty much enjoying my time at the moment. So it seems that my life completely changed as well, because this is the moment when it's supposed to travel and I cannot. So fine, I'm good, because I have more time to meditate and I'm able to do it up to 4 hours a day. Some days I could do it 3 hours, some days, 2 hours, but some days I could do it 4 hours. But I cannot do more because I still have some responsibilities to take care of at the moment. Okay. Right, so coming back to this picture, when our mind is disenchanted, it's going to be easier to detach from what? From people, from animals, from stuff, from achievements, from our dreams, from whatsoever. That detachment is going to liberate the mind. Have you ever felt before in your meditation that you felt so liberated? Your mind is so free and you live in a different world. That liberation is going to make you feel in the sense that you do not belong to the world. Well, in a good way, you do not belong to the world. It doesn't mean that, you are an alien or you just got kicked out from the world by someone. No, but that feeling of you in a place that doesn't belong to anyone, just nowhere, nothing around you, is when you are able to detach and feel liberated. So if the moment you started to feel a little bit more about your previous life before the coronavirus, or you started to feel a little bit more about the situation, use that boredom as a source of disenchantment. Or I started to think about the situation of my business. I cannot think about anything, because you can't think of anything. Use the boredom. I don't know how that's going to be created, but it's just no use, right? If I want to try to think, okay, I have a retreat in I don't know, they plan to do it in Central America somewhere. I don't know, maybe in Costa Rica, Pura Vida. That's great, right? Costa Rica is great. Or Honduras is great as well. They have good pupusa, but people of El Salvador don't agree with that. That's politics. Because I could not do that. I cannot travel. I cannot do the same thing. That's why I can call myself a quit, right? I just don't struggle anymore and make use of that little boredom. Okay, the situation is not going to improve anytime soon, so what? So we feel a little bit more about it, and let's, find a peace of mind, disconnect, and also come back inside ourselves, feel detached from things in the world, and also liberate ourselves. The mind is going to feel liberated, like this picture. And when the mind is totally feel liberated, at some point, the mind is going to feel pure. It's like the water that had contamination. All the sediments settle down to the bottom and the water becomes so clear. That quality is going to develop into stillness. And that stillness eventually will lead us to enlightenment. So these are some steps of how a good meditation is being formed. It's being formed by disenchantment, detachment, liberation, purity, absolute stillness, and enlightenment. Okay, so check yourself at the moment. Use that amount of boredom. Oh, I feel bored. I cannot do anything anymore. Because you feel bored, you just need to be in the absolute boredom, right? The absolute boredom is, you can make use of this boredom in a positive way. It's like, okay, I have nothing I can do. I have nothing else. I have done everything I have to do, I can do. And if I cannot do things that I want to do, just feel bored. That sounds strange, but we use that boredom sometimes when we meditate. Like me, a monk, I could not wear the hairstyle I used to wear. I could not have the red color. Before I became a monk, sometimes I dyed my hair in red. I thought it was cool for me. I know that some people might not agree with, but I cannot do it anymore. So I feel a little bit bored at the moment of thinking about what hairstyle I should wear, right? Because this is the same. Or the clothes. I cannot wear any kind of other clothes. So let's develop the boredom. I don't feel enthusiastic anymore of looking at fashions because that's no use for me, right? Even though this is not going to last for you forever, I know that you're not going to be in self-quarantine or lock-up or shelter in place forever. Maybe it's going to be for a few months. But, of course, not a few years. Okay, finger crossed. So, use that boredom. Okay, you understand what I mean, right? To make yourself disconnect for a while. You can't improve the situation. This is the problem that you cannot solve. The problem will be solved on its own, but you are already a part of the solution to it. So be yourself. Come back to what you can do, what you have to do. And eventually that will lead you to liberation, to the enlightenment. When the mind isn't clear, when the mind is clouded, the mind is going to be like clouded water and you can't see things clearly inside, right? If you want to have clarity, you have to meditate and make sure that your mind is clean. Again, if you have clouded mind, if your mind is clouded, things in the mind you cannot see clearly. But when your mind is clear, everything inside can easily be seen. Okay? So the wisdoms, the quality, the inner peace already inside you, they just do not show up because the mind isn't clear. Let's do a little meditation together, okay? I spoke too much and maybe we do not have much time left to meditate, but if you just arrived, or maybe you can save this live, bookmark it, and come back to it later. And I'm going to guide you some short meditation which you can follow. We're going to have maybe weekly meditation led by me or other monks who will come here. And if you want to kick yourself started and you can follow a voice, it's going to be easier for you. Okay, so let's begin with a short meditation together. Prepare yourself and sit comfortably. Allow yourself to close your eyelids softly and gently. Do not close your eyelids too quickly. You may blink your eyelids slowly and allow them to slide down gently. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 。 。
。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。
。 . 。 。 . 。 。 。 . 。 。 . 。
。 .
Feel as if you are lying down on your bed, waiting for a moment to have a sweet dream. And now relax all the muscles in your body. Relax the muscles of your forehead, the muscles of your cheek, the muscles of your chin. Feel the flow of relaxation moving down to your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, down to your fingertips. Relax the muscles of your torso. It's like you change your outfit and wear something loose. Relax the muscles on your chest, your stomach, your hips, your thighs, your knees, down to your feet, to the tips of your toes. Until you feel completely relaxed in every part of your body. And when you are completely relaxed at the moment, I would like you to stay with imagining that you are sitting alone somewhere in the world. There is nothing and no one around you. Alone, but you don't feel lonely. You are feeling happy. You are feeling peaceful because you have your time all by yourself. I would like you to stay with the breath, vibrating softly, slowly and deeply. The breath is our precious gift that we have been given since the first day we were born. This is a symbol of vitality. This is the flow of life that we appreciate every time we breathe in and out. would like you to follow the breath that is going smoothly and slowly to an empty space in the middle of your stomach. And if you adjust your breath gently and softly, you can feel that the airflow is gently arriving and touching an empty space inside your body. Softly, gently. This is what you can do again and again. How you are following the awareness of the breath helps you stay longer within yourself. When you are able to stay within, the mind will slowly show no interest of anything else in the world. We are able to put everything down and leave them behind for a while. Of course, sometimes the mind got distracted. The mind think about something else. That is normal. If the amount of thoughts is too much, you have too many thoughts, you can open your eyes and close them again. Otherwise, the only thing that you should stay with at the moment is the stillness, softness, gentleness inside your body. Try to stay with the combination of the awareness of the breath inside your body and the flow of relaxation that is circulating inside the body. Let's spend a moment to cultivate this stillness and softness until you are able to leave your awareness and let it stay still, softly still, without forcing, without manipulating anymore. And you are able to stay with this one feeling as long as you can, as soft, as gentle as you can. There are many things in the world that you cannot do, that is beyond your capacity. That is out of your responsibility. Many things you cannot change. Many things you cannot do. Why should you bother thinking about them at the moment when you can stay with the amount of peace in the mind? Isn't this what the mind has been asking you for? To have a little vacation, a little time for yourself. Allow the mind to rest as if there's no future, there is no past, only the contentment at the present moment, here and now. Stay still for a moment. You can also use a mantra in the mind, like clear and bright, clear and bright, clear and bright, or Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang. Samma Arahang. And feel vibration of the mantra expanding from inside the body. Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, meditation, I would like you to take a deep breath in and out a few times. Breathe in and out. Feel the environment, everyone and everything around you. Feel every part of your body. And once you feel that you are ready, you may prepare to open your eyes while listening to my blessing. Sapphe Buddha Palapatta Pacceka Nanjayam Palang Arahanta Nanjate Shenarakang Pandami Sapaso Te Atalatha Sukhita Virunha Putasasane Aroka Sukhita Hota Saha Sapphe Yatipi Sappaputta Nupavena Sappatama Nupavena Sappasangha Nupavena Sattha Soti Bhavantu Te. May the power of the inner peace, the triple gems, and all the merits that you've been doing until now bestow upon your longevity, your health, your success, and your inner peace, and everything you wish for. May all your wishes be fulfilled, all your dreams become true. May you be surrounded by good people, good friends, good opportunity, living in a good environment, free from sadness, sickness, and all the diseases. And every time that you meditate, may you all attain the inner peace without delay. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the meditation. We meditated 20 minutes today. How long did you feel? Did you feel great? Did you feel that at some point you were liberated? Or were you able to bring back the retreat environment that you once had before? Were you able to detach yourself from stuff, from people, from environment, from the situations, from all the bad news and all the words going on? If you were able to do that, why don't you do it daily for yourself every day? This is the love that you can give to yourself. You don't actually need anyone to give this to you. This is something that you can do, something you should do, something that is a rare opportunity that you can turn crisis into blessings, right? So I hope today I share with you some encouragement, some tips, some motivations that you can turn this time. Many people will feel that this is the hardest moment of their life. But if you think about it, it's the other way. This can be a gift that we can give to ourselves. This is how we enjoy our own retreat. And this is your own world, your own world. The world that your mind is totally free from the viruses of the mind. The body, you are free from the virus. Let's think about it this way. You are healthy. You are free from the virus. You are not sick. You're not going to make anyone sick. So don't make your mind sick. Stay healthy. Stay strong. And I hope to see you again. We try to do this weekly. Because even though I'm not flying, I'm not in any other country at the moment, I can stay with you. I can be with you whenever you need it. So thank you again for being together. I hope. Yeah, Johan said that it felt like 5 minutes, and other people we met before, um, they had good times as well. So yeah, let's do it longer next time. Let's cut the talk. We're not going to talk, we're going to meditate, okay? And maybe if we have time and space, we can do the guided meditation MP3 as well. All right? So until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and stay with the present moment. Peace. Peace in, peace out.